If you want to live in her mind and never leave, you have to start with silence, not noise, with presence, not performance. Forget chasing, convincing, or trying to earn her love. That's not power, that's surrendering it. Real attraction doesn't come from begging to be seen. It comes from becoming someone who cannot be ignored. The key is not what you say or do. It's how you vibrate, how you carry yourself without words, how your energy enters the room before you speak. When a man moves from true inner power, nothing can erase him. No silence. No excuse. No distance. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being whole. It's about mastering what is invisible, what isn't said, what isn't offered, what is simply felt. The feminine subconscious doesn't attach to words or promises. It attaches to frequency, to mystery, to the man whose presence wakes up parts of her she didn't even know existed. But before you can ever leave that kind of mark on someone else, you have to stop erasing yourself. You cannot live in her mind until you fully inhabit your own. Most men get this wrong. They chase, they overgive, they adjust themselves into shadows hoping to be chosen. They try to be remembered by someone else while forgetting themselves. Everything shifts the moment you stop asking, "Does she want me?" and start asking, "Do I want who I am right now?" That single change flips the polarity. You no longer need her attention. You can't stop giving yourself your own. You stop pulling, you start attracting. You stop asking, you start radiating. This is where magnetism begins, not with effort, but with energy. When you choose yourself so fully, she feels it, not as arrogance, not as distance, but as gravity. And here's what no one tells you. Women don't obsess over the man who gives everything. They obsess over the man whose presence challenges their nervous system, the man they can't quite decode, the man whose silence unsettles them more than another man's speech. A man who is calm where others chase, grounded where others grasp. Mysterious not because he hides, but because he's complete. When you withdraw, not in anger but in elegance, you stop being an option and start becoming a symbol. You leave behind not absence, but presence without a body, an imprint that doesn't fade. This is not manipulation. This is alignment. It's not about playing games. It's about no longer needing to play at all. Because the moment you no longer hunger for her attention, your energy stops leaking. It rises. It cleans itself. And a clean frequency is irresistible. Women feel this long before they can explain it. They don't analyze it, they experience it. Their conscious mind doesn't fully understand why they keep thinking about you. But their unconscious knows. You've become a mirror. A trigger. A story they can't close. Sometimes, it isn't even attraction at first. It's disruption. You awaken something, a wound, a dream, a fear, a hunger, and now you're tied to it in her psyche, whether she likes it or not. But here's the paradox, and this is the highest truth. The less you need to be chosen, the more unforgettable you become. Need is noise. Sovereignty is signal. You don't enter her mind by demanding space in it. You enter by living so deeply in your own center that her subconscious has no choice but to orbit around you. Not because you pulled her in, but because gravity doesn't ask permission. This is why some men can disappear and yet remain everywhere. Why some men never text, never plead, never ask, and yet are never forgotten. It's not what they did. It's what they are. So stop chasing validation. Stop proving worth. Stop bleeding energy through the cracks of fear. Choose yourself, completely. Reclaim your dignity without drama. Walk away, not to punish, but because you no longer beg for crumbs where you bring a feast. And when you do, something shifts in her. Not always instantly, but silently, surely. She starts to wonder, to feel, to dream, to ache. Not because you're reaching for her, but because she can no longer reach what you gave freely before. She starts looking for you where you aren't, hearing your name where it isn't spoken, feeling the ghost of your presence in the places you once stood. That's when you've entered her mind, not through control, but through contrast, through the quiet power of a man who no longer betrays himself. And by the time she returns, if she does, you may no longer want what you once begged for. Because the ultimate power is not in being remembered. It's in remembering who you are, and never again shrinking to be tolerated. That's how you become unforgettable. Not to her. To yourself. And once you're unforgettable to yourself, the world, including her, adjusts.